I'm Todd Swarmstead. I'm the founder of the American Sign Museum. This is my self-proclaimed midlife crisis project. I worked on a magazine for the sign industry for about 28 years. The magazine's called Signs of the Times. It actually goes back to May 1906, and my great-grandfather was the first editor. So I left the magazine in 1999 to start the museum. What this is this sets up the history of signs, from the earliest hand-carved wood through the light bulb period, through the neon period, into the plastic period. Well, every sign museum worth its salt has to have a big boy. Now, this is an early version of the big boy. If you look at his back pocket here, it's got a three-dimensional slingshot. The later versions, the slingshot was more like embossed into his pants. The big boys now don't have a slingshot at all. It's politically incorrect. He's got striped pants. The ones now have checked pants, saddle shoes, and the other thing is that the big boys now are not quite as well fed as this big boy. This section here is called the light bulb period, or the pre-neon period. The light bulb was introduced in the late 1890s. As soon as the light bulb was introduced, you had light bulb signs. Now, all of these examples here are signs that use light bulbs. Sometimes they're exposed, like on this boot, and this boot is what we call a trade sign. Trade signs were signs that were in the shape of a symbol, where the symbol represented the business. Obviously, this was a boot store. If you look on this side of the sign, you'll see there's a bunch of light bulbs. If you come on the other side of the sign, you'll see that the letters have neon illumination. Well, when we found this sign, it had neon on both sides. But as we were trying to fix some of the broken tubes, we discovered that the sign had originally been a light bulb sign. So we restored this side back to the way it was originally and left this side with the retrofit in neon to show how a sign could be updated with a new technology. Another type of light bulb sign that has the lights inside the sign is this Kelly Springfield Tire sign. Now, it uses these little glass buttons, we call them. These are cast glass with a stem on the back that's threaded. So you screw this into the sign cabinet, imprinted on the rim of the glass, patented July 1910. Now we move into the neon period, which really began in the mid to late 20s. This corner of the museum is 50s neon. If you look at this sign here, this cow sign, this is a great example of what we call animated neon. Now, the way you do animated neon is you do layers of it. If you look at this cow head here, there's 3 layers of neon stacked on top of each other, and they're flashing on and off in a sequence. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This animation effect is really obvious in the swishing tail. And of course, we saved one of Columbus's icons, the Big Bear sign. Now, this sign was found in Chillicothe, Ohio. This sign probably dates to late 50s into the early 60s. And then we move into what we call the plastic era, which really kicked in after World War II. This sign, it's what I would call kind of a transition sign, because what happened is when plastic was introduced, neon held on even to the 60s and 70s. So you see a lot of signs in the 1950s combine neon with plastic. The very first plastic signs were just flat plastic sheet. Then they started doing some early what we call vacuum forming, where the sign face was a little bit rounded. This Colonel Sanders sign, KFC sign up here would be a good example of that. Then they started doing a little bit more complicated vacuum forming, where the letters could be actually raised, like this Emerson Television and Radio. You can see Lowe Brothers, and an extreme example of that is the Shell sign. The American Sign Museum is the history of America. This sign is a really good example of that. Now, obviously, it's in the shape of a Sputnik, and it's for a shopping center called Satellite Shopland. If you remember, the Russians had launched Sputnik in 1957. That prompted all this interest in rocket ships, outer space planets. I call it the Jetsons period of design. This guy opened a shopping center in 1962. So he took his rough sketch to a couple sign companies to ask them what it would cost to build that sign. And they just kind of looked at him askance, this guy's nuts. So he ended up actually building the sign himself in his garage. The globe is actually 2 half globes of plastic. All these spikes and all the letters, he did himself in his shop. So let's take a walk down Main Street. We'll walk past this McDonald's sign from Huntsville, Alabama. This was built in 1963. We have a policy that we don't like to repaint signs. We will restore the neon on a sign, but we like the patina of a sign. The irony about this sign is this was for Earl Scheib. Earl Scheib was a cheap place to get your car repainted, kind of a precursor to Maaco. Any car, any color, 1995. So when we got this sign, that globe was completely stripped of paint. This ring was gone, the cars were gone, so we completely restored this sign, which is very unusual for us. The only thing we did leave that was original was the bullet hole. Here's where the bullet came out, and a little tougher to see is where the bullet went in. It's right at the ring level. Right here is where the bullet went in. Every sign museum's got to have a McDonald's sign. That's an American icon, but so is Howard Johnson's. This particular sign was built in 1958 and came from upstate New York. Now there's a little story behind those characters on the top. Simple Simon met a pieman going to the fair. When Howard Johnson started opening up his restaurants, he wanted to particularly cater to families. So his ad agency, in their wisdom, picked the nursery rhyme to highlight on the top of the sign. We're often asked if we have more signs. Well, yes, we do. Most of these have been restored. Sometimes when we get a sign, it is in working condition. It's not likely that it is, but we do have a working neon shop which repairs a lot of the glass for the signs. Even some from Ohio. This Roby's nightclub sign is from Toledo. Sterling Rubber Products is from Central Ohio. And we even have a sign from Columbus, the well-known Rife's Market. Signs are everywhere, and I don't think people really think about who actually made or designed that sign. So if you come to the museum and you leave with a new appreciation for the people that made these signs, then I would say we've accomplished our mission.